Welcome back, you guys. I am excited for today's video because this one is something a little different for my channel. So I decided I wanted to pull out my top 15 palettes that I ranked in my 2024 eyeshadow palette ranking, where I ranked all the palettes I tried last year. But I wanted to revisit those palettes, see if my thoughts on them were still the same. I actually have the list here in front of me because not only are we going to revisit them, I'm going to share my thoughts on them with you now that I've had a longer time with them, but we're also going to re-rank them, see how my thoughts have changed and what positions they're in now. I will say a lot of these positions in these palettes have changed drastically because my thoughts on them have changed a little the longer I've had to play with them. So I'm excited for this. I think it's a really fun idea and hopefully you guys will too. So let's go ahead and get into it. If this is your first time here, my name is Heather and I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys happen to love those things too, I really hope you will stick around, subscribe. I would love to see you back and down below in the comments. I do a lot of different types of rankings here on my channel. I love talking about eyeshadow palettes and I will find any excuse there is to talk about eyeshadow palettes. It's just such an exciting time for me and I love it so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank these palettes out for how I would rank them now, and then I will also tell you what position they were in last year when I ended up ranking them. I will say I think number 15 might be the only one that's still in the same place. I don't know. We'll have to see like once we get there, but I'm excited for this video. So keep in mind there are 15 palettes here and I did try 115 palettes last year. So these truly are the best of the best and I loved them dearly, which is why they did rank really high in my ranking. So I would say my thoughts pretty much on them in that aspect has not changed, but definitely my thoughts on which ones are favorites compared to others have changed. And like I said, we're going to start out at number 15, which is the Cosmic Beauty 'Tis the Season palette. This one is pretty and I like it, okay, but really it's these top two rows that I love so much. I'm not really big on pink and purple, but I do love the Cosmic Beauty formula. And I love their mattes and shimmers. I think they're beautiful. They do come up with some of my favorite color stories, and they are one of my favorite brands. But out of these 15 palettes, this one does rank the lowest, but it's still a great palette, and I loved it all together. But this, I think, like I said, is the only one that's still ranking at the same position as it was last year. My thoughts on it, honestly, are pretty much still the same. Okay, so this one has actually changed a lot. So this palette came in at number 6, and now it is coming in at number 14. And keep in mind, I still love the palette, but I've just discovered that maybe the color story just isn't a favorite for me since then, but it is the DD Signature Fearless Holiday Eyeshadow Palette. I do really enjoy the packaging on this one. I love that there's magnetic pans, and out of these two, I prefer the color story of this one like all day. I love it so much, and I love this color story. I love how you have these lighter shades, but then you also have the really deep jewel tones, and it really is just an all-around really good holiday palette, and I had a lot of fun with it. She's still beautiful, but when I want to feel creative and create something a little fun, you know, exciting, it's just not one that I'm going to gravitate towards like before I would the others ahead of it, which is why I ultimately put it lower down in the stack. Now, when I did that's the thing. When I did that ranking, this palette was still really fresh in my mind. So I was still really excited for it. That's why I do think it's kind of cool to revisit things later, because I do think your opinion sometimes can change. You know what I mean? Okay, so this one is actually in the same spot as well. And it is the Galactic Visitor from Singe Beauty. This has some really cool artwork, and I love it so much. Love the formula. I'm pretty sure she's about to have a new launch, and I can't wait to see what it is. I had a blast with this. I love this color story. I think it's beautiful. Is it my all-time favorite color story? No, but I do feel so excited when creating with it, and it just brings out that creative side in me. It is a bit more neutral leaning than what I would typically gravitate towards, but I do like a neutral look with a pop of color every now and then. So honestly, I'm not mad at it. I still love it. It's a fantastic palette. Now, if I had to choose between the one that launched this year and this one, I would definitely pick the Agate Temptation. I love that one, but this one was phenomenal as well. Okay, so in my ranking last year, I did decide to include my Ensley Rain palette in that ranking because I tried so many of them that year, and it was at the beginning of all of, you know, the stuff, but I did keep them in this ranking because it wouldn't make sense not to. But speaking of Ensley Rain, the next one is coming in at number 12, and it is the Light in Your Eyes palette. So this one actually ranked as number 2 last year, and I still think this is such a beautiful palette with such a fantastic formula. Despite my misgivings with Ensley Rain, they do have a beautiful formula that I cannot deny. They were one of my favorite brands, and I still am like blown away every time I decide to pull one of these palettes out. Their shimmers are just truly some of the best that I've worked with. They're so reflective and just overall gorgeous. They really just make me so I used to get so excited when I reviewed an Ensley Rain palette, but I'm gonna be honest, like, the situation with them kind of has taken a lot of the excitement out, and I just don't reach for them much anymore. And maybe that's why it's ranking lower, because I don't feel that energy for it like I used to. But I will say it is a phenomenal palette. If you like the color story, you will love it. So this one is actually the same as well. I have more of the sames than what I thought I did. And this is coming in at number 11, and it is the Amy Loves palette from Adept Cosmetics. This palette shocked me, and I still love this so much. It still makes me so excited when I look at it. I love this color story. I think it is so fun. I love the muted tones in here, the pop of blue, the pops of pink, but the shimmers are really just where it's at with this palette. They are so high shine, so beautiful, and I just love Adept Cosmetics. They are one of my top favorite brands as well, so I'm not surprised that one of their palettes made it into my top ranking, because they're one of the best. So this palette actually has moved up since then. So originally it came in at number 12. Now it is coming in at number 10. We have the Secret Garden from Bella Beauty Bar. It is no secret, you see what I did there, that Bella Beauty Bar is one of my favorite brands. I love them, and I love this palette from the very moment I used it, and just the more I use it, the more I fall in love with it. It is so fun. I even love the neutral row that's thrown in here. It's like the perfect everyday kind of neutrals, and you can just create some of the most beautiful looks with this one. You can tell this palette is very well loved. I've used this one to death, and it's so good. I just love it. The color story is so beautiful. I love all of the undertones and just the shimmers. I love how Bella Beauty Bar likes to play with the darker shimmers and then bring in the contrast with the lighter shimmers. You have light mattes, dark mattes. It's just such a freaking fantastic palette. One of my favorites in my collection. I can't imagine ever getting rid of it, and I love her. It's funny because when I pulled these palettes out, like I went through my video and just wrote down the palettes and the list they were in, and then the next day I pulled the palettes out from my shelf and I ranked them. And I didn't even look at where they placed, and it's kind of shocking that so many of them are placing in the same spot. Like we have 4 so far that are in the same exact spot. But coming in next at number 9, we have the Underland palette from Ensley Rain. I loved this palette so much. I love how dark and moody it is. I love the color story, the mattes. It's kind of muted, but in such a beautiful way. You have contrast with some of these really light shimmers. I love the dark shimmers as well. I had so much fun with this palette. It's so impeccable, so gorgeous. The shimmers are so good. Like I can't help but just want to put my hands in it like every time. Ooh, I've been looking for a shimmer similar to that. That's really pretty. But I love this so much. It's so breathtaking, and she is beautiful. So it's still ranking in the same spot. Listen, it's really hard sometimes to rank eyeshadow palettes because brands, they really come out with so many good ones. I will say things have been a little like at a lull lately. Like, where are the launches? You know, I'm hoping they start picking up soon because I miss them. I like need something to review, you know what I mean? But I miss them. Things have been really slow. I can't remember if it was like this slow last year in September. I seem to think it wasn't though. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, so coming in at number 8, this one actually moved up as well. So this one was in the 10th place last year, and it is now coming in at number 8. We have the Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette. I love this. You guys know I love Unearthly. They're one of my favorite brands. I love them with my whole entire heart. And this palette is freaking beautiful. It's so gorgeous and just shifty, shiny, reflective. I love the muted tones. I love this bright blue and this like sea of muted cool tones. I think it's so breathtaking, and I talk about it all the time, but I also love the way they lay out their palettes to where you can easily create so many gorgeous looks. Makes it really beginner friendly, and it's a fun way to get to play with color combos that maybe you wouldn't necessarily play with, and I think that's awesome as well. Even if you don't like have it in your budget to pick up an Unearthly palette, just to try to sit down and dupe one of their palettes with with something in your collection and lay out the dupe shades the same, and then still follow that same chart, you know what I mean? And still play with those color combos. I think it's such a brilliant thing that she does with her palettes, and I love it so much. I think she is super creative. I have picked up the Dead Cute collection, which launches at the end of October, I'm pretty sure. That one was a pre-order, and I am waiting on the other collection. I cannot remember. Shadowed Veil, I'm thinking. That one will should be coming anytime soon. I know she's waiting on like the lip products and the blush products to come, and I did buy the full collection, but I cannot wait to review that one. I'm thinking we should do some like all matte looks and like looks with shimmers as well, but I'm excited. But I love her. This is still one of my favorite palettes in my collection for good reason. So This one changed a lot. This one ranked at number 14 last year. And honestly, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, because this is not a number 14 palette. So that is why this year I put it at number 7. It's the Metamorph from ARTTITUDE Cosmetics. When I look at this palette, I still feel that same level of excitement that I felt when I tried it last year. I love this. I love this color story. I love this brand. I love the formulas, the way that this is laid out. It's kind of chaotic, but it really just pulls that creativity out of me, and I love it. I love the looks I created with it. They have an impeccable formula. This palette is like what caused me to fall in love with them from the start. Like, I have a video on my channel called I Love You From Hello, and I know I talked about ARTTITUDE Cosmetics in that video, and it's like brands I loved from the first purchase I made from them, and it just continuously got better and better with every purchase I made. And this is the one that started it all for ARTTITUDE Cosmetics. I love this with my whole entire heart. You can get some really beautiful muted neutral looks out of this. You can play with these fun pops of colors as well. It's just so phenomenal. And look at this shade. It's so bright and beautiful. Like, you have a whole variety of different types of shimmers in this palette. It's just so stunning. It makes me so excited. And just look at them. Do you see that? Like, she is delicious. She's giving me life. You know, I battle with chronic depression, and lately it's been a battle, to be honest. And I know it's like monetary things, and you really shouldn't try to find solitude and things like that. But in all honesty and just being transparent, some of these, just looking at them, just really feels like it just could just bring me out of the depths of hell. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but if you know anything about depression, sometimes it feels that dramatic. It can be hard, but I just, man, I love them. Like, that's why I love this channel and talking about eyeshadow palettes and reviewing them, because it's always been my safe place, and I love it here. I love it so much. Okay, so this one actually dropped down a spot. It ranked at number 5, but now it is at number 6. So it's still one of my favorite palettes of all time, and I love it so much. And it is Peach Perfect from Gourmand Girls. I went on and on and on about this palette, and it's still one of my favorite palettes in my collection. I think this color story is phenomenal. Like, they really just thought outside the box with this one. It's the undertones of the greens with the peaches and the oranges. Oh, I've created one of my favorite looks with it, and I felt so fierce. I love this palette. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, she is beautiful. I really love Gourmand Girls formula as well. It's very beginner friendly, really easy to use, and their shimmers are very beautiful. As you can see, they do speak for themselves. Like, look at them. They're so beautiful and glossy and gorgeous and reflective. And I've raved about this palette for so long. It is very cool tone leaning, so you do have to like those muted, cooler tones to love this palette the way that I do. But man, it's definitely one of the best. One of my favorite Gourmand Girls palettes. I can't even pick a favorite at this point, though, honestly. So, number 5 actually came in at number 7 last year. But now, of course, it's coming in at number 5. Look at me over-explaining. But it is the recently de-influenced from Bella Beauty Bar. I love this one. I went crazy over this palette when I picked it up. I think it was last summer. And for good reason. I just did another look with this on my channel. It's in a 4 looks 4 palettes video if you guys haven't seen it. highly recommend you check it out because I did 4 fall looks. And I did 3 palettes that were throwbacks, and I also did the Tones of Turd from Glaminatrix, and it was a great time. But this palette always serves me some of the best looks, and I love it so much. I love like the muted warm tones. I don't know what's going on. Like, a lot of things are muted, but I really do like it. I think it's so fun, especially when you have it paired with some of these like brighter, vivid tones. I think it's so stunning and can create such fun looks. I am stumbling over my words, but I love this. Oh, it's such a hit. Okay, so this whole top 4 situation is completely different. Completely. So coming in at number 4, this one actually ranked at number 8. And again, I think it was the feelings I had at the time. But if I'm going off of the moment that I tried it and how like I still feel when I look at the color story and when I look at the shades and just the looks that you can create out of it, and things like that, and performance, of course, then it deserves to be in 4th place despite everything else. But I'm giving it to Flutter from Ensley Rain. I loved this palette, you guys. You know, this color story is just brilliant, honestly. This peach pop with the grays and the muted purple and this moss shade, the looks I created with this one were some of my favorite as well. I love this. Just looking at this palette right now makes me want to do, okay, so you could do the gray all in the crease and then deepen up with black, or do the gray in the crease, deepen up in the very inner part of the crease with this green, and then deepen the outer corner with the black. Put this in the inner corner as the pop with this all over the lid. All of those shades are in there, and such a freaking gorgeous look. I love this shade so much, and I'm gonna need someone to remake it. That's all I'm saying. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love this palette with my whole heart. Its sister palette, Flourish, was just as good, but this, out of the 2, this one was my favorite color story. So that is why I put this one in at number 4. Okay, so number 3 was actually number 1, and it's still a number 1 palette, but it just, number 1 and number 3 switched places. So coming in at number 3 is Poison Garden from Bella Beauty Bar. You guys know this is still one of my favorite palettes in my collection. I think I'm a little burnt out on it though, because I've used it so much, like so much. It's one of the most used palettes in my collection. I used it all this year, all like the end of last year as well after it launched, and it still is one of the best, but I feel like I might need a little break from it because I've used it a lot, and for good reason. She is so freaking beautiful, and like I said, Bella Beauty Bar does some of the best dark shimmers ever, but I think that's why it bumped it down. Plus, number 2 and number 1 are really good too, so I had to give it to them, but she is still a favorite. So number 2 jumped to number 2 from the number 4 spot, and coming in at number 2 we have the Harvest of Souls from Fantasy Cosmetica. This palette is brilliant as well. Like, oh, this color story is so fun. I love it. This like bright purple right here is so breathtaking. I think those are in the wrong spots though. I have been like pulling my palettes out and mixing things up, so things are not in their right places, but it's still, you get the point. She's a beautiful palette. I love this so much, and I've had so much fun with it. Fantasy Cosmetica is one of my favorite brands, and for a very good reason. They have an awesome formula. They have really fun launches, and I love their concepts as well. Their the whole experience, like the artwork, everything is just so fun, and this one just deserved that spot. You know what I mean? Look at those. They're so reflective. And they have like a really good matte formula too. All in all, like I really, really love them. And I don't know, like I haven't seen any hints of them having a new launch or anything. So I'm kind of hoping they do. But, well, I guess we'll have to stay tuned. And as I said earlier, this one was at number 3, but now it is taking the number 1 place, and it is the Not Normal. I have raved about this all year, and even the last half of last year, because I love this. It's been with me on all of my trips this year. I've talked about it in almost every single ranking, talking about palettes, because I love this one so much. It is probably my favorite remastered palette of all time. I think her remastering this palette was such a freaking good idea, and I am so glad that she did. I love this so much. I would love to see her remaster Lore and make Lore bigger too. That could be really cool, but this is just such a beautiful grungy color story, and I don't have anything like it in my collection. It's just so fun and captivating and exciting, and I love these types of colors, like these more murky yellows and swampy greens, and then you have like these muted tones as well. This bright pop of emerald, this shade topaz is so stunning. It's so bright and beautiful and just freaking gorgeous, and I love this one so much. I just can't stop talking about it, and honestly, it still hasn't gotten old yet. Like, I'm still not tired of it, so that speaks volumes. Out of all the palettes in my collection, this is one that I always continuously reach for, and I just can't get enough of it, and for freaking good reason. Like, she is so good. Love it so much. I love it. If you love this color story, trust me, I could not rave about it more, especially if you like the Unearthly formula, which I do. They're one of my top favorite brands. I mean, you could pretty much see who has my favorite formulas because they are littered throughout this whole top 15. They're fantastic, and I like what I like, you know what I mean? But this was so much fun. You guys are gonna have to let me know though, are there any palettes that you tried last year that maybe started out as your favorite and then maybe they became like maybe not so much a favorite, or vice versa? Maybe you started out not caring too much for them and then they ended up becoming one of your most reach for palettes. I am stuttering, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I think this is a really fun way to revisit some of the older stuff in our collection, talk about some of our favorites. You guys know, like I said in this video, I love any excuse to talk about eyeshadow palettes, and honestly, these just so happen to be some of the best of the best. Now, I'm going to be honest. If there are any that I would take and maybe not have had in my top 15, what would they be? Probably these 3. And I don't remember what was before them, but I know there had to have been other good palettes too. If I'm thinking like right off the top of my head, I know Realm of Fairies was a good one. Like, there were loads of good palettes last year. So, I don't know, but I do know for sure, like, 'Tis the Season, I would definitely I would take it out of my top 15, and definitely Fearless Holiday as well. But I would love to know your thoughts, so let me know down below. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out so much, and I really do appreciate it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way till the end, and until next time, bye.